Okay, go ahead.
We are up and we are live, and then have the stream starting soon. Woohoo! You guys can hear us, I'm sure, already.
Yeah, it says it still has the countdown on, so does that go away or I see
Yep,
just still the logo.
the notifications just went out. There we are. And we are
Okay.
up live. I'm hoping we are.
Yeah, I still see the
Yeah, it's a
logo.
delay.
Okay.
So, welcome in those who are joining us. All right. You can chime in on the chat. And we're doing much better, and you'll be able to hear me now.
Right. Donna's working on the video or something. Yeah.
Our sound. The only
I,
thing we couldn't get in was sound, and Deb's box to match mine. I have a couple ideas on that one, but welcome in all. So, all that. What's going on in your world?
let's see. Well, this is the taxes are due this week, so we have all of the late, the late people coming in. And these are always the hard cases because they haven't done anything in a while. But fortunately or unfortunately, because I live in Florida, the IRS has given us a reprieve that we don't have to file the taxes till February. Well, we haven't told people that. Because if we tell them that, they'll wait till February. By the way, I'm still seeing the Bookkeepers on Fire logo. I'm not seeing any chat.
Let's see. We are live and broadcasting. Hold on. Yep, we're good.
All right, I'm hitting refresh. I still see the logo.
Okay, because I see us going. You're talking. You are good.
All right, where do I see maybe I'm on the wrong thing. Bookkeepers on Fire.
Look at it on your
Oh, lot.
phone.
Okay, let's go to the lot. Oh, okay, look on my phone.
Yep.
Okay, hold on.
It's hard to watch and broadcast at the same time. So look
Oh,
at it
there
on
we
your
are.
phone. Yep.
Okay.
And you are going. We're still working out the kinks.
We're
This is
still
only number two. We got this
Yeah.
far with number two.
Yeah.
So it's a live fail forward situation.
Yes. If we waited until we were perfect, we would never start.
Look, here's the deal. The last one inspired me to create a whole bunch of things for the new one that I probably would not have researched very quickly and figured out without that
Uh-huh.
last one. So
Cool.
now I have a whole nother list of things to go figure out. So
Good.
anyway, fail forward every time.
I know that's the best. People go, "How did you get so good at accounting?" I go, "Because I made a lot of mistakes."
Yes.
And what's nice about accounting is that it's just money. No one died. So and that's how I learn all the tricks and tips and tools and how can I do this faster, easier, more accurate, and be effective. So that's when I start researching apps and learning more Excel formulas and and that's actually my happy place when I take I always like to say it's ironing shirts. When I was in college, I made money by ironing professors' shirts, 50 cents a shirt,
Yep.
because I like to take the mess and make it neat. And I kind of feel like I do that with books. They come in with a stack of paper. All right, how am I going to get that stack of paper into the books so I can produce a tax return? And now with this ledger product,
Oh
that
my
just
gosh. Isn't that
I
neat?
was thinking today, I could switch a lot of people to ledger.
Yes, that's what I'm
You know,
thinking too.
now I did get a deal. I mean, I like Plus because of all the reports and all this stuff. So I put them on Plus. Well, if I'm doing their books, we get it at a discount, and our discount is $54. Well, if I put them on Ledger, it's $10. I'd say $44 a client. And they never access the books. I mean, they don't, now if I need something like sales receipts or,
Uh-huh.
customer stuff, so sales tax, I won't be able to do that. But I can do it with a lot of the other stuff. So I did it with this one client I had who had 3 credit cards, 2 bank accounts, sales, and all I did for sales was I just made a deposit, with 2 lines, sales and sales tax payable. And I did a massive spreadsheet, which that's again, I love working on spreadsheets, and imported it using Sasant, uploaded it to the bank account using the CSV because this was not connected to the bank, which would have made life easier, but she wasn't connected. And it was just fun. I mean, and it was fun. So,
Isn't it like, oh, that ledger thing is like, I'm looking at it every day and I'm going, who could I put on this? How could I get people into this? Because this is so cool. It does everything except for AR and AP. But I don't have any clients that use AR or AP.
yeah, most small business
So, yeah.
clients, they just write checks and make deposits. It's like a glorified check register. In fact, I feel kind of responsible for Ledger because when I was on council, we were having dinner one night, and I said, you guys are missing it because why the accountants really don't want to move to QuickBooks Online, a lot of us, is because we could buy the Pro Advisor membership at QuickBooks Desktop for, it used to be $500 a year, and we could put as many clients as we wanted on it. So now you're asking me to pay 50, if I want plus 50, I forget what the price was. Let's say $50 for argument's sake, $50 a month for every client. So if I had 10 clients on it, it would be my annual Pro Advisor fee. Now these are not, clients aren't even attaching this. You need a SKU that accountants can use, that we can easily do the tax return. Just all we're doing is tracking stuff. They're not complicated books. And then they came out with this ledger. I'm like, oh, they took my idea.
Yeah, I'm just thinking all the possibilities that I can do with it next year.
Now, my next idea, which I think they should do, is, if you're a Pro Advisor, and in desktop, I know you never use desktop, Donna, but if you're a Pro Advisor, they have a thing called Accountant Tools. And if you get the accountant version of desktop, there's a has files, file at the top. There's an accountant drop down that has batch data entry, batch delete, reclassify, all the stuff we like as accountants. Well, if you're a Pro Advisor, you can turn that toolbox on if you set yourself up as an accountant user in desktop, which I do. So I thought, why don't you have it now in what I'd like them to do is in QuickBooks Online, that they have an accountant user like that. So if a client has Simple Start, and they, as the client, doesn't need the tools we have. I know there's accountant tools where you can quickly reclassify and all that. I know they're there, but they're limited. So if they had a thing where you could use the advanced features in a client, but only you can do it as the accountant, it's not available to them. If you wanted to do uploads and the Excel, all of this Excel stuff to make the reports, I would be willing to pay a little extra for that, like I, do as for the Pro Advisor, to get that tool to get the advanced tools turned on in a Simple Start file. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it, but we kind of have a workaround for a lot of that. It's called Tool.
Yes.
It's not everything, and I don't know the desktop at all, so I don't know the tools or anything like that, but we kind of have that. So, hey, I want to take a moment and recognize, we have a few people that have joined us in the chat. So Beth Ann has, Cindy, so thank you guys for joining us.
Yes.
So very much, and Debbie, and I think that might be you.
No, Debbie B is here, Debbie Baker.
Oh, Debbie Baker. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. Yeah. All right. Well, hey,
thank you guys for I would say your last name, but I don't know how to say it. You'll have to phonetically spell it in the chat. So with my last name being Kilsheimer, I'm really kind of fussy about mispronouncing people's names. Because it drives me nuts when they call me Kilsheimer. I go, no, it's Kilsheimer.
I had to practice it a few times. Z,
and then you'll get it right. In fact, my Twitter handle, I guess it's X handle, is Debbie Kills.
There we go. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for joining us. Feel free to ask questions in the chat as we're talking along. Yeah, we're just here talking about stuff. Deb launched into Ledger. A couple things about going on with Intuit that I just saw this week. or actually today, was they are doing something called, oh, now I lost it. Hang on one sec. I'm looking up at my thing. It's on October 10th. It's called the Intuit Accountant Innovations Showcase. I have no idea what it is, but I would say go and at least see what they're doing or sign up for it. So I will put the link in the chat.
Okay, great.
So you guys can sign up to at least see what they're going on or get the recording afterwards. So see what they're up to. It's always good to see what they're up to. And I saw that today. Copy. Let me see. I'm trying to get that in there.
I wonder if I signed up for that.
Paste. There it is.
I sign up for a lot of stuff and then I never attend.
Yeah, me too. Oops. That was not the right one. Let me kill that one. What?
Oh, Debbie Baker got an email about it today. Maybe I'll check that.
Yeah, I got an email about it today too. So
who was it from, Deb? Did it come from Intuit? What was it called? Innovative Showcase? I'll just search for those words.
Something like that. I searched for it online, couldn't find it. So here we go. Let me get the right one in here. Okay, there's the link. You can register for that there. And it's on the 10th of October. I think originally they sent out an email that said it was on the 3rd of October, but that one didn't actually have a link in it, but this one does. So they sent that out. And then another interesting email I got today from them, and their emails are always so interesting and fun. Sometimes about the QuickBooks payment system updates affecting processing times. I think they're a little late to the game on sending out that email, but they sent out an email maybe to cover whatever is going on with that. So that's always fun. If you guys
I read that
email,
and I didn't quite understand it.
Neither did I.
Update your payments because they're not charging now. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't use it, so I don't know. It's very confusing to me.
I guess they're going to turn it on where you can turn it on. I'm just talking out loud here. Of course, that's what I always do. If you watch permissions, so if I give somebody permissions and they can actually turn on the payments feature, and where you as the owner might not want that, where you'll take credit cards or ACH or something like that. I don't know. So I think it said something about permissions.
Yeah, this one said about this processing times.
Oh, really? I didn't see that one.
There was just an email saying, we know your processing times are slower. Basically, it was a lot of legalese that said we know your processing times are slower and we're updating our security features. That's why.
Well, it's funny. We had a client in here today who he uses, we do his books and we use ADP for payroll. And, he has a separate payroll account, which is a whole nother thing. But anyway, he does. And we tell him, okay, make sure you transfer the money, because this is what your payroll is going to be. Transfer the money. And he did it like he normally did. But for some reason, his bank is now holding the money. So all of his payroll bounced.
Oh, no.
And
these banks, man.
So anyway, that was because then you have to wire the money. So anyway,
it's a little like crazy out there right now. I'm very careful about what I'm doing with it. The other thing. Oh, just a reminder to everyone in here: make sure you like our stream today. It helps us out. It helps get reach out there.
Yeah, and share it out.
And share it out also.
I want to be like that guy. I watch YouTube is my favorite channel.
Yes.
I watch it more than I watch regular TV or, Peacock. And I subscribe to every single, Donna and I are real TV fans. In fact, I've been watching this new show, Donna. Have you heard about it? It's called Alone.
I have not watched that one yet.
Oh, it's on the History Channel, which is on Hulu. And they drop 10 people in remote wilderness. And the one who lasts the longest wins.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that last night, and I haven't put that one on yet.
It's not the competition is who lasts the longest. They're not competing, so they're not like trying to outsmart each other. And it's amazing, but these, they apparently they get 40 things they can pick from, and they get to pick 10 things. And, it's how they forage for food, and they eat rats and mice and shoot grouse and, build fire, and how they, this one lady, she built a log cabin.
Oh my gosh. Now I gotta watch it.
So, it's like fascinating. And I think, man, I don't like when the air conditioner's too cold, and they're in the Arctic Circle.
Yeah. Is that where they're doing it from, the Arctic Circle?
Well, right now they're in Reindeer Lake, which is in Saskatchewan. This is season 10. I didn't even realize it was a show. So Hal's going, "What, are you still watching that show?" And I said, "You know what I found out? This show, they have 10 seasons." I mean, it's like 10 episodes. I can watch 100 episodes. So there's another one I think out there that came out to Outlast, I think it is, where they're dropped on the Arctic Circle, and they divide up into teams, and they have to all work together. And the team, they always have to be on a team. So and you can tap out anytime where you hit a flare.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're the only one left, you have to go find another team, and they either take you or they don't. Sorry, we don't want you, because they split the money. I think they split $1 million.
Oh.
And so and I know I watched 8 episodes, and they said next episode's on Wednesday. I'm like, oh crap!
Oh.
Well, yesterday was Wednesday. I thought, I could watch. Yeah, I love TV's my thing. Donna and I are big. We're big reality show competition fans. Like we watched, what was that called? The one we just watched with the Squid Game.
Oh, Squid Game. Yeah, I was going to say we either watch Traders or Squid Game.
Traders. Oh, that was good.
That was a good one.
I love that one. Watch Traders. I told Donna about Traders. And then how about, did you see Villains in the House?
No, I haven't got there yet. She goes more than I do. Like, I don't have time. I fall asleep early. I do other stuff too.
Well, I wake up at 3 a.m, and my new plan is I wake up at 3 a.m, and I'm a morning person. So I work until noon, and I even got an app called Opal, I think it's called. In fact, this Allie talked about it. Donna are big fans of this Allie. What's his name?
Oh, I can't pronounce his last name.
Yeah. Anyway, he has a YouTube channel, and he talks about productivity. It's really good. So he was talking about this app he got that you can program it so you're not interrupted. So at 6 o'clock, nobody calls me at 4 a.m. So at 6 o'clock it goes on, and it turns off. I cannot go onto it and look at Facebook, play games, nothing. I can turn off texts. Now I can let certain people come in with texts, meaning, like if Donna you're an exception.
Do
so
I
you
get
text
accepted?
me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
she doesn't respond to my texts, so she must read them.
I
Not all of them.
respond.
I write a lot.
So what's nice is I turn it on. It turns off at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So from 6 to 1, I can't get distracted by the telephone. So it's nice. So I can get more work done. So then at 1 o'clock is when then I go. So now I'm going to Pilates in the afternoon. And so, and then I come home at today I went at 12:30 because you have to pick the class time. So I was at a client this morning. I got there at 8 o'clock, worked till 10, came home, dealt with this client with the taxes, the guy that bounced the paychecks, and sat down, finished up, talked to this client what I had to import all the data, got the questions answered for her, put in pay. I mean, it was really I get a lot done. It's amazing. And then, of course, it got to be 12:30, went to Pilates, got back, and then it was 1:30. And then Hal goes, of course, it's Thursday today. And in Florida, we have a grocery store called Publix. And on Thursdays is the day Publix puts its new buy one, get one free stuff out. And it's an event. Hal likes to go on Wednesday when Dixie does it, and Thursday Publix does it. So he goes, oh, what time are you getting back? I go, well, I'll be back. Pilates ends at 1:30. Well, it's in the Publix parking lot. Well, I'll meet you at Publix. We'll go to Publix today. Okay. So we wander around Publix so he likes looking. So we did
this is the stuff we do.
We walked all around Publix, and I was real proud of him. He didn't buy any cake or ice cream today. Because I probably was with him when I'm not with him. I get in his car and I see crumbled up bags of Krispy Kremes. I said, "Oh, I see you were on International Speedway." Yeah, I passed the hot donuts now. So I was.
When that sign flashes, it's like you
I
just
said, "You know,
your car just goes there.
yeah." I said, "You have an addiction, man. You need to go to the donut 12 steps. Donuts Anonymous." And I know Winn-Dixie yesterday had Entenmann's buy one get one free donuts. He bought 2 boxes, and they had what are those Milano cookies? Pepperidge Farm Milano
Oh,
cookies.
yes.
Buy one get one free. So we bought 2 bags of cookies and 2 bags of donuts. And I walked to an office today, and sure enough, there's 1 bag of donuts and 1 bag of cookies. And I said, "Oh, I see you had some cookies." "Well, I ate half it last night and the other half today." I said, and then half an hour later, "I don't know why I can't lose weight." Look in the garbage, man. Yeah, but it's not my fault. It's buy one get one free. I'd lose money if I didn't buy it.
No, you lose money by buying. You would
I know,
lose
it's
no
like hell.
money.
Well, then, but I realized that, I think it was yesterday. I was in the store, then walking around. I shouldn't be buying this. I shouldn't be buying this. And I said, "Well, what happens if you don't buy it? You're crabby." I said, "I'd rather have you fat and happy than skinny and crabby." He is funny. So anyway, so we went to Publix this afternoon, and then of course the question of the day every day is, "What's for dinner?" What's for dinner? Anybody else deal with that? I go, "I don't know. What do you want?" I mean, I don't care. Whatever you want. So we're gonna we got Publix makes this sweet sausage that he likes, so I bought that, and he's gonna have that for supper. And he doesn't like vegetables. He won't eat a vegetable to save his life. So all he gets is meat.
Oh.
He'd do well in this show, or the Outcast show, because that's all they shoot grouse, catch fish, and eat rats.
You might do well on that show. Yeah.
They would do well.
Yeah. I'm the one asking what's for dinner.
Oh, does your husband do the cooking?
He does all of that stuff. My husband and my kids cleared the path for me 10 years ago when I started so that I could do my business. And we've never gone back.
Oh, nice.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know how to do stuff. I don't know how to trim the oven on. I'm sure I can figure it out. I definitely don't know how to work the washer because it's a new one. And I'm like, there's no knobs. It's all like buttons and things. The dryer too.
Does it have Bluetooth where you can do it from your phone? I
think it does. I know my son controls the AC in the house from his phone.
Oh, wow.
So, because we have zone AC in this house, and I know he controls the whole thing from his phone, so he has it on when we walk in the door. The car? I don't know how to work the car.
We have that in Marco where, we have the air conditioner hooked up to his phone. So before we get to our condo in New Smyrna, the condo in Marco, he turns the air down. So it's cool when we walk in, which is nice. And then he has automatic locks on the door. So he always knows when people are going in and out. So, and he used to have cameras in the house.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm turning them off. I don't like, well, why not? I hate being watched. Well, what if somebody broke in? Well, okay. What are they going to steal? All the crap sitting around here?
We have a camera system around our house, but not inside of the house. It gets activated when we are out. But
that's good.
Not when we're just out for a few hours, when we're out like traveling or whatever. But yeah, otherwise it's just
we're
on the
watched
perimeter.
Everywhere we go. I just think, gosh, can I ever be, people want to be secure, but then you lose privacy. I think Benjamin Franklin said
I go to
something
Disney
like
all the time. I assume I'm on camera all the time.
Oh, yeah. For Disney, for sure.
Yes. I'm pretty sure I am.
Yeah.
I'm constantly yelling at my husband and kids, "We are being watched. Don't do that."
Or somebody's videotaping you, and then you'll wind up on some Karen meme or something.
Yes. I mean, we're at Disney. That happens all the time. Yeah. But I so far I haven't wound up on a meme yet, but
yeah, I would hate that. I love to watch those Karen videos.
We did shut down we had one video. Well, you saw the video. I sent it to you. The one where I cracked my ribs. On Big Thunder Mountain. Yeah, that was
She's on Big Thunder Mountain riding on the roller coaster, and you can see her. And I said, "Who took the picture?" Because everybody's facing the same way. So apparently your husband had turned around
Yep.
and was videoing it, right?
No, he used the phone. He was facing forward, but just used the flip feature on the phone. So he
Oh,
just held it
okay.
up and was videoing us. It's me and my sister, and yeah, and she was slamming me, like body slamming me hard on that ride because we're sisters, and like because I'm old, cracked my ribs. It
Yeah, she cracked her ribs on Big Thunder Mountain.
was like,
Hey,
all
Cindy,
right.
have you ever been hurt at Disney?
That was the first time anything ever happened like that. So, and then so we go to the doctor. Like finally, about a few days later, my husband's like, "You're not looking very good. Maybe we should go to the doctor." And he never says that. And so I'm like, okay, well then maybe we should go. And we go in, and I'm trying to explain to the doctor what happened, and he doesn't even know what the right is. The nurses are laughing. Finally, I'm like, "There's video. You want to see the video?" And so we pull the video out. Now the nurses are rolling. And he's like, "Oh, okay, let's X-ray." And then he's pointing to the area to X-ray. He's like, "X-ray there." And when they saw
Yeah,
it,
we could see where your sister was slamming you.
oh.
That's where the bruises showed up.
Yeah, so it was a what do they call them? They were cracked and bruised, but they're fine now. I mean, within like a couple days after that, they gave me
Yeah,
some
because
nice
you can't like
medicine.
put a cast on your ribs.
Yeah. Nope, you
Like you're
just have to
breaking
rest.
breaking your toes. You ever break your toes? Oh, it's like, oh,
Yep.
the worst.
Oh, I've done that many, many times. I don't want to do that anymore. But yeah.
Teresa says, you hate being watched, Deb? I'm watching you now.
I know. Don't be watched, and we're on YouTube. We're doing YouTube, and we're doing it live, and we're
Yeah.
talking about all this stuff. Talk about being watched. This will
Really?
be up. You guys have any questions out there for us while
Any
we're here?
bookkeeping questions you want us to answer?
Yeah, we're babbling on about stuff. Any questions here? We are bookkeepers on fire.
Yeah.
Love to help you with your businesses or any questions you have.
Yeah. I am going to that a BOI webinar because that's coming out. Everybody needs to do that, and there's some really a debate about whether we should do it as bookkeepers. Is there a liability, or we should say to client, you do it?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go to a webinar to see what the liability is for us, because I certainly don't want to get in trouble. But if it's something we could do easily, why not?
Yeah, I think I'm going to run mine. If anyone asks me, which so far no one has, I'm just going to run it through like CorpNet. Have them do it.
Yeah, I think I do with that. I think they charged $99 last time I talked to
Yeah.
them. But if you white label it, they charge $79 to you,
Yeah.
and then just of course you mark it up for $3.95. I mean, but they
Yeah.
can do it for free. If a client wants to do it for free, just like his bookkeeping, if he wants to do his bookkeeping for free, go ahead. But if you do it, make sure you charge. So I want to know if we do it, what do we open ourselves up for, if anything? So because I think sometimes we get a little too scaredy cattish.
I know. We get scared sometimes, and fair enough. We're not sure what it is. This is brand new. There's
Yeah,
been
the BOI.
lawsuits going on. It's we don't know what it is either. I haven't even done it for myself yet.
I haven't
So-
either.
So I probably should go through the process myself and do it.
I'm going to go to this webinar. I forget when I scheduled it, but it was a free webinar put on by I forget some document place that I'd never heard of. I said, okay, well, I'll attend and see what I can learn. Oh, City writes, the issue is if you enter it wrong and the client receives the penalty is huge. Yes, the penalty is huge.
Ah, okay.
But it's like, isn't it like anything else, though? I mean, if I enter the payroll wrong and they pay too much tax or they have a penalty, I just check, double check, triple check. I mean, and I know you need your driver's license and something like that. Well, get a copy of it.
Yeah.
And if they give you the wrong
Probably,
information,
yeah.
it's kind of like when you do a tax return. If our feeling is if you give me the information and the information you gave me is wrong and it results in a penalty for you, I'm not responsible. If you gave me the information and I did it wrong, which caused a penalty, I will pay it. So it depends on
Carefully worded agreements on that stuff.
Now,
Maybe.
if I do a tax, if you don't give me the information and the tax return is incorrect because you left out something, which results in more tax, then I'm not paying the extra tax. That's on you.
That's
I'm not
just
even going to
paying
pay the
extra
interest
tax.
because,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a tax. I mean, so I think it depends a lot on your clients. I mean, I think we have clients that are just sue crazy, as they every little thing is everybody else's fault. You know, I don't have clients like that.
I like Cindy. She says it's way easier for the clients to do it on their own.
Yeah,
Just
it
avoid the
is.
pain. I mean, do we really need the pain? It's coming towards the end of the year. There's like a tax deadline this week, so I've been answering tons of calls from people who haven't done 2023
Anything,
yet.
anything.
Yeah.
It's funny. When I see the set of the books or the information that comes in for how to do the income tax returns, I think this is how most people keep their books, as a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
The ones that we do, they're like perfect. So, but just think of all the people out there that do it, keep their books in shoe boxes and just say, well, I think it's this. Let's guess. You know,
Believe me, I see it every day for 5 hours a day.
yeah. Because Donna, what's the job you do for Intuit, Donna?
Yeah, so I do I work for QuickBooks Live on the expert assisted line or area, that $50 a month for right now. Uh, and people call in with their questions and then we answer them for them. One question at a time it's designed for. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I do that every morning for about 5 hours every morning. And I talk to probably 10, 15 business owners. It's really busy right now. They're like back to back calls. It wasn't normally like that, but we're
Because
just
you're
busy
not
right
doing their
now.
books. You're just answering a
I'm
question.
just
How do I
answering
print a check?
questions. Yeah, they're
How do I print a check, or how do I reconnect my
yeah.
bank, or
How do I
that
get
kind of
all
stuff.
my 2023 into my books to give it to my accountant to do my taxes? Today's the 12th.
What do you tell them when they ask you that question?
I'm like, well, so we connect by our screens, right? So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like trying to focus in and answer their question and give them the how they can do it. I don't do
Mm-hmm.
it for them. I tell them how
Right.
they can do it and what they need to do, and give them a knowledgeable advice on what they should be doing, and then what their accountant might look for,
Mm-hmm.
um, and tell them to reconcile before they send it on their way over to there. Some listen, some fight me on my advice, and I'm like, hey, they're your books. You can do whatever you want, but this is how I'm advising you. You called me for advice and to show you how to do it. This is how you do it. And yeah, and we connect by screen, and I answer one question at a time, and try to ignore the big fire. Like I'm putting out little mini fires, and
Yeah.
ignoring the huge, massive fires that I see burning behind their one
Right.
question.
Right.
Because you
Teresa
can't.
asked.
Some people
Teresa
you just
asked.
can't help.
Teresa asked a great question.
Oh,
She's getting pushback from a client about entering credit cards detail via paper, which they email to me. How can I diplomatically tell them to cut that out? Here's how I do it. I just raise my. I have a client does that, and she goes. I said, all right, you can do that because it was connected to the bank, and I worked well with the person that was the office manager there. She quit. The wife comes in and she's like, oh, I can't let you have that. I don't want to connect it. It's not secure, blah, 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 blah. I said, all right, well, FYI, your bill's going up $1,000 next month. Why? Because now I'm going to have to take the paper and enter it. So here's your choice. You either connect the bank again or you pay me the extra 1,000. Oh, she's actually paying me the extra 1,000.
nice.
So, okay. So I have it in Keeper where on the
Uh huh.
statement cuts like on the 10th. So on the 12th, she gets that email, upload it to Keeper, and and then she does or she doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it was a while, like 3 months went by, she didn't do it. And she goes, how come my profits are so high? I said, because you haven't sent me your credit card statements yet. You know, and I said, and remember, you're job costing, and I'm not doing that. So if you have to then go through them and figure it out. Well, what if I said, nope, if you can enter them yourself, that's fine. Well, I don't want to do that. Okay, well then connect the bank. I mean,
Connect the bank account. It's so simple.
but just tell me to raise the
Yeah.
fee, Teresa, see how that works. Because, the problem is that they don't realize how it impacts you, So they think, well, this isn't a problem for me. I just give you the paper. What's so hard about that? Well, I think if you let them know, I said, I can certainly do this, but every time you send me paper, it delays my getting this information out to you with, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have to charge you a lot more money to get it done. And, so I can't, you're paying me to do data entry. You're paying me for a data entry skill. Well, really what I'm good at is the analysis skill, the cash flows and the CFO stuff. If you want to pay me CFO wages to daily enter your credit cards, I'm okay with that. Or would you rather utilize my brain better? I mean, those are just ideas that I would attempt,
And I have a solution too. Charge them all this money to do it, but then get money thumb. Get that.
Yeah. Do you have money thumb, Teresa? Well,
Get
money
that
thumb doesn't work
email.
if unless with a scanned statement. Maybe
It
if they
has to be the
download it
direct download from the
yeah,
bank.
direct download from the bank.
So if you can get them to do that, at least you can use money thumb, convert it to a QBO file or CSV, depending on how you want
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
And boom, you can upload it in the bank feeds and go.
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
I wish money thumb worked with PayPal. I wish now, Donna, you're a PayPal expert, aren't you?
Yeah, but you can download the PayPal transactions directly from PayPal. And that's how I do it. I download those PayPal transactions from PayPal into a CSV and upload.
I actually just got a girl. She's a nonprofit. She rescues bulldogs. And she uses PayPal for the donations and paying things. Well, I connected QuickBooks to PayPal, and I'm really happy with it because one of the things now you can do it now in the bank feed and in PayPal. You can actually create a sales receipt right from the feed. I don't know if you all knew that. Now, the difficulty with PayPal is that you can't set automatic rules, meaning if she goes out to get gas at Exxon, and in the bank account, you go, every time you see Exxon, it's gas. In PayPal, you can't set it to be auto. You have to set it to, you can make a rule up, but you have to then accept the rule. So when I create a rule in PayPal, I go Exxon PayPal, restaurant PayPal. So then if I have the same rule in the bank, because you can't have two rules with the same name. And I want to have auto rules in the bank, and I have to use the other rules with that. But that has really sped things up. So, Beth, have you tried that, Beth Ann? The rules always, the heart's in the way, which is great. But they always mess me up with PayPal.
Yeah, PayPal rules are hard. You got to really watch them, and they change the coding a lot.
Yeah.
So it's just hard with PayPal. I have one client that insists on using PayPal, even though all they're doing is running it through their bank account,
right,
or their credit card account. So it's why are we doing this? But it causes 3 transactions instead of just one if you just connected the credit card.
Because you get all
a lot more for that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it goes, you have to use because I knit, and the only way to pay for the patterns on this app called Ravelry is through PayPal. So it goes it charges my credit card, which makes a deposit to PayPal, which then pays the designer. She has a guy buying stuff on TikTok on PayPal. I know. I mean, just.
I have I got a lot of that stuff because I work in that world. I have sellers, but we run them through Shopify, with TikTok through Shopify, so that works. But the PayPal buying on TikTok, that's a challenge.
And the problem with PayPal too is if they buy stuff using PayPal, if it's a credit card or a bank account, you can really read who the vendor is. A lot of times in PayPal you can't. So I'm like, well, who's this? So I find PayPal a challenge. If they come in if I do the this assessment, the strategy call with them, and they say, oh, I have PayPal, immediately, ching, 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 the price goes up.
Oh yeah, the price doubles when we're talking PayPal.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, easily.
Now, the
That
other
guy's
thing,
sweet
Teresa, you
old.
can do, I do this too, and I like this one I just did for this yarn shop I just did. She gave me paper statements. I scanned them. She sent them to me. I exported them using Adobe, but I didn't export them to Excel. I exported them to Word. If you export them to Word, it makes a nice Word table, which you can then paste into Excel.
There you go.
So that I use that too.
So
You
yeah,
know.
no, I had to give that tip out to someone the other day that was having a
Oh,
hard
my
time.
tip on the Word thing. It's
Yeah, the word
amazing.
thing. They were like, "Oh, that's amazing!" And about half an hour later, you saved me tons of work.
Yeah. So if
And
you export it to Word in Adobe, it doesn't work perfectly, but it works
it
good.
works good enough to get you going.
And the other thing that I really drives me nuts with these credit cards, if because I have another client I go and he's one of these, he's like Hal. He these Hal and this guy Brett, they're like brothers from a different mother. Like this morning he sits in my, I just ordered two new credit cards. If we spend $1,000 in the next 90 days, we'll each get $200. And you know what my immediate thought is? I hope they connect to QuickBooks.
It's always my
So I think,
thought.
okay, well, this month I'm going to put my QBO fees on it. The next month I'll put it on the next one, and we'll meet the $1,000 easily. But then I have to remember to change it back to the credit card. But then we get the $200. Well, Brett's the same way. So he gives me paper statements. Then he has 4 accounts and 15 banks. So he takes the one statement and he splits it between the 4 companies, and then he splits it between the banks. So I have this spreadsheet that I made up, and the one thing I hate typing are dates. 09/12/24. I just can't get it doesn't type right. So this is my trick for dates. Okay, you're looking at a statement for, this is what, September. You're looking at August statement. You have 3 columns. First column is, okay, the date today is September. So you take the last day of the prior month. So if you're in August, you would do July 31. If you're in June, you do May 31. Get the pattern? All one column. The second column is just the day. So if it was June 6th, first column would have 5/31 of 24. Second column is the number 6. The third column is the addition of the last day of the month plus the date will give you the date. Oh man, I use that all the time. So all I have to do on the statement is go 6, 10, 10, 10, 12, 12, 13, 13. And then I have it where I put little formulas in there. If blank, leave it blank. And then I have a thing off to the side, put in the total paid, add it up, make sure I didn't make a typo. But I don't have to type in dates using those columns. And it's, so I have
This is
these
where,
master.
like, oh my gosh. This is where I
Donna
always
thinks
tell
I
Deb,
work
she
too
works
hard.
too hard. You work too hard. I'm like, I wouldn't deal with any of that. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I love doing that kind of stuff. That's my happy place is while making spreadsheets up. Man.
She's like lives in spreadsheets, and I'm like, how can I not make this a spreadsheet? How can I connect it? How can I make no data entry at all?
Well, I make the spreadsheet up, which is just minimal typing, and then it's put into I have a template, and the template I use Succinct, poof, upload it. I mean, and then I always have these, like I do a lot of restaurants. I mean, I have these restaurant things where the POS isn't connected. So all I do is pull the POS report up and go, okay, this is much food, beer, wine, T-shirts, sales tax, type it in. And I can do it. I have on my sheet are 30 days. So only thing I have to type in is the first day I'm doing, because the next set of blocks will add the day. If this has a number in it, add a day. And then it goes to a second sheet, which distributes the cash, which is, I mean, what's brilliant, Teresa, that dating thing, I thought it was brilliant myself, to tell you the truth. Because I hate typing dates.
No, it is brilliant. It's like, it's brilliant. The stuff she comes up
It's
with
really
in
cool.
those spreadsheets.
If you're doing like an American Express card that goes over dates. You can either change it like from May to June, or if it's like, okay, May 30th, and now you need June 1st, instead of typing, and you're looking at April 30th, type 32, it will give you June 1st.
Oh,
If type
wow.
33, it will give you, so if there's a couple of days, it doesn't have to be I just keep adding them, go, oh, that was the wrong guess. Or I just change, okay, this is where I have to change the, okay, Beth says, I figured out how to sum if one for a restaurant because all the dates had the time. No, do enter, make a whole number. Yeah. So
Yeah.
when you
She does
learn
a lot of, I
Excel,
know Beth Ann, she does a lot of restaurant stuff.
I love doing, spreadsheets to speed it up,
Yeah. I don't do
VLOOKUPs
restaurants at
and
all. I owned restaurants. I'm never going to do their bookkeeping. I know what crap, that's a dumpster fire there alone. Then you got to deal
like
with
a
the
lot of times,
owners.
you'll get a tax return, and when I get a tax return to Hal, I'm looking at the balance sheet. There's a couple things I can verify. Have they reconciled the bank? I reconciled all the balance sheet accounts. The other thing I can look at on the profit and loss are the wages. Did the wages match? So, you log into ADP and you can pull the report, and then I can say, okay, I split out the officer's wages and the staff wages, and I do sum if statements. Does it match this? Yes, good. And of course, when you do a tax return, one of the questions they ask is how many W-2s were there? So you have to count that. You do unique equals this column tells the exact number of. I use that unique formula all the time.
Uh-huh.
In fact, I just had this one client, this niche store I just did. Okay, she gave me the sales tax returns. So I put in, all right, here's the sales for January, February, March. Everything went into a clearing account. And then every deposit that came out of the bank came out of the clearing account. Well, after everything was said and done, she had $11,000 left in the clearing account. Well, that tells me that she had more sales than deposits. So I said, what happened? Did you spend $11,000 on cash? Did you put $11,000 in your pocket? Oh, no, that can't be right. That cannot be right. I said, well, let me double check. Because everything balanced, everything footed. The balance, so I ran a report, sum ifs, add up the bank. I said, okay, here's the total of the deposits. Here's the total of the sale plus the tax, because that's cash they collected. And it's exactly $11,000. Doesn't matter to me. I'm just telling you. What did you do with the $11,000 that didn't go to the bank? Oh, I don't know. Okay.
Well,
Did you spend cash out of the drawer? No, I never do that. All the money I collect goes to the bank. Well, apparently it doesn't.
nope, you got a
Because
problem. Then
you
you have a
sold more
leak.
than you put to the bank.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, owner's draw, no big deal.
And they got to figure out where they're leaking money
Well,
at.
they pay tax on the profit less the expenses. And in a perfect world, you'd want that to work out. It never does.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in restaurants, because they have, payout tickets, and they pay the band. They don't put it through the ticket, and they don't make it to the bank. And, then they got the tips they pay out. And oh, my God.
Again,
So
I own
yeah.
restaurants. I am never
Yeah.
going to do restaurants. I know how that all works. I
I just think,
prefer the influencer people. I understand them. I prefer
yeah.
those YouTubers, the e-commerce, all those kinds of people. I
Yeah, all the
understand that.
electronic people.
Yep.
Yeah, I do more Larry the landscape guy, who has, comes in with stacks of paper.
Yeah, no paper. No, we don't do paper.
Well, at least I got him on QuickBooks Online, and I got the bank connected, and slowly, and I got him on QuickBooks Payroll. So I've automated a lot of it. But it used to be, in the olden days. Remember the olden days? I'm old enough to remember when there were green ledger paper, and everything was written out by hand.
Yes, that's how I learned.
Yeah, I think more bookkeepers, when I read them on Facebook, when they have questions like that, you ought to use some green ledger paper before you start.
Yes, T
So you
accounts.
learn how to do what the bookkeeping means.
Start with T accounts.
Yep, I use them all. I used them today.
Yeah.
In fact, I used it right back here. I'll show you. Here are the T accounts I did for that sales that they wanted, because I had to double check myself.
She has paper in her office. I don't even have paper in my office. And pins. When I have to write stuff down, I have to go look for something.
Oh, I have these blue notebooks. I went to a garage sale. Remember these blue books when you were in class?
Yes.
You know, I mean, so I got stacks of these. I found them at a yard sale. I said, "Oh, these will be great." So I use these to take notes in. You know, I do like today. Here is on Wednesday, September 4th, what I wanted to get done. Of course, Donna uses an app. I use
I
I use
don't
pen.
like take too many notes. I write them down in an app or I just do it so I don't have to remember it anymore. And
I don't know. I find when I write stuff down, I remember it better.
yeah, I don't want to remember too much. So I just
Well, I
do it.
remember it. I write it down,
Yeah.
but then
No, but
now
that's true. Yeah.
and then I put it in Keeper. I mean,
Hmm.
like today I was at that client this morning and I needed her, Amex login. And, she had written it somewhere. I said, I'm just putting it in Keeper, because she's on desktop, but you can still have them as a client on your Keeper stuff. So on the Amex one, I just said username and password. So I don't have to remember it.
Yeah, so for that stuff, it's all in. Like I've got systems. Like I use 1Password, it has all my logins and passwords for everybody, for everything
Yeah.
we do. It's got it all
I have
organized.
RoboForm too. Do
Yeah.
you have backups of backups of backups? I do.
Yeah, I have way too many backups. We have to clean that out. But yeah, it's
Well, I
and
put it
then
in some place and then I forget where I put it.
yes, that's me right now. I forget where I put stuff. I
I
got
know I
links all
have
over
it.
the
I know I
place.
have it.
I know
You
it's
know,
there. Yeah,
I
we're
know.
working on that. People are helping me. It's not going well.
I like to
But
be organized. And then, of course, Hal, he still likes paper.
yeah.
Oh,
He's not gonna change.
he's not going to change. He's 78 years old. He's not going to change. If you saw under my desk, he makes his invoices. I always tease. I'm going to show y'all. He prints. Here's an invoice from him. He prints it out on paper that
Does
I
he
then
email
have to
it
take.
then? Then you have to scan
No,
it
he
to
prints
email.
out 3 copies, one for him, one for me, and one for the client. I come in and they're all sitting on my desk, which then I have to put into QuickBooks. And of course, I stick it over to the side because I have regular work to do. And then then I stick it in a box. And if you looked under, in fact, the box I use, you can see a box here. These coffee boxes, they hold paper perfectly.
Ah.
All the paper, I have them I put in those coffee boxes. And at the end of the year, I go 2024.
And then you
So on the
store it
right are all
somewhere?
his invoices, and on the left are all the paper bills. So he'll say, of course, I scan everything, and it's attached to the transaction. So then he'll say, I need the bill. What's the telephone bill? Because he prints it out.
Oh my
He
god.
prints out the telephone bill. I go, just email. I mean, I'm going to log in and get it. But he prints it out, sticks it on my desk, which I just stick in the box underneath my desk. And at the end of then I'll say, I want can you show me the telephone bill from February? And I said, sure, it's in the box. Look through the box. But I tell you what, because I scanned and attached, we had our air conditioner broke about a year ago, and in Florida, if your air conditioner breaks,
Yeah.
and the guy comes and looks at the air. He goes, well, this air conditioner is about 10 years old. Do you know when you bought it? Because if it's still under warranty, we'll get it for free. And I said, hold on, let me look. And I go, oh, yeah, 10 years. And he goes, well, you have to have the original receipt. Sure enough. I printed, here you go. Oh, wow, nobody has these. I do. You guys are lucky you have shredders. Hal goes, oh, what if I need the paper? Oh, okay. So I put them in the coffee box. And I would love to scan and shred. But, I'm married to an old guy.
Well, it took a little bit of reframing some people's mindset. My old guy.
Yeah.
But then I showed him the cost of moving all the boxes of paper we had when we were moving from Florida to California. All of a sudden, we were good to go with shredding. Everybody was in on it.
Paper is heavy.
Yeah.
And it's a fire hazard. And bugs get in it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When I was an auditor, I remember I was an auditor and I went to audit a city. And they said, I need the paperwork from XYZ. And you have Teresa goes, Florida has bugs. They call it roaches. They love paper. I know the roaches are so big in Florida, you can put a saddle on them and ride
Oh
them.
my gosh.
So
Yes, we
that's their
still have
thing.
nightmares about those things.
Ugh. In fact, the other day I woke up, I went into the bathroom, and here's one of those wolf spiders. They're like this big. Oh my gosh. So I found a big bowl and I put it over the spider. And Hal was out, and I came back, and he goes, "What's the bowl doing on the floor?" I said, "Oh, there's a spider under there. You're going to have to get."
And it's moving across the floor.
Yeah. He probably wore it as a helmet, the spider. So I said, "Well, you're good for some things, you know." Oh, geez. But anyway, I was at this city, and they took me out to this barn where they had the paper, and they opened up the door, and there were cobwebs and I'm thinking, I went to college and passed the CPA exam to do this? Oh my! So there's like, you had to wear gloves. I mean, like those wispy spider webs. Like, ugh. I felt like I was at Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah. I remember those audit days. You never knew where you were going to end up in the audit day. I was like on a ladder one time, like trying to figure out how to count grain silos. At the top of the ladder, we're going up a grain. It wasn't one of the tall ones, but it was one. And I'm the only girl on the team, and I'm like, why am I climbing up the ladder to figure it out?
They wanted to look up your dress.
Yeah. Oh, I was wearing shorts, man. There was no way. We're in the middle of Bakersfield. I'm sorry, but the audit manager wasn't on site anyway. So, yeah, but they were like, I'm like, why me? And they goes, because you'll be the one that will figure it out.
Well, Donna, you are a genius. I mean, really, if you ever want to know how to do something,
taking chalk. I started taking chalk by the foot all the way up.
Yeah.
And how much would this, and asked the guy, how much, if you sold this much, how much would it be? And we just started doing multiples until we got to where the silo was filled and calculated it and kind of backwards. I don't know how we figured it out. That was a long time ago.
I did that. We were doing an audit of, it was the guy builds parts that, when you go to a college or you go to, and they have the audio stuff in the conference rooms, they built that. So they inventoried the parts to build it. So it was, of course, year end, and they're going to count the bolts.
Mm-hmm.
What? I said, no, why don't you get a scale? Count out 100 bolts. How much does that weigh? Now weigh the whole thing. Do the math. Oh, we've always been counting them. I said, no. So we started weighing stuff, thinking, okay, that sometimes you just have to think different.
Yeah, that's what it takes a lot of times.
Think which is fun. I think that's what I love about being an accountant, is coming up with a solution to the problem. In fact, I was thinking about today, I talk to myself in the car all the time, and I was thinking about, there's such a thing as rules, and then there's principles. Well, principles are what you believe in. So, for example, in accounting, there's principles like materiality, ongoing concern, things like that. Those are accounting principles. But then there's rules that you follow. So do you have to always follow the rules to get the job done? So I was thinking about that because it was early morning, and I'm going out. It was back yesterday. I was thinking this. I'm going to my Pilates class at 5:30 in the morning because it's the only class I could get into. And I'm going to the class. No one is on the road. And I'm sitting at a red light. And I'm thinking, why do I have to sit here? There's no one on the road. But I'm sitting at this red light, and I understand the rule. People drive for safety reasons, everybody gets along in traffic. So the principle is, you want to drive safer, get where you want to go, blah, blah, blah. But the rule is you have to use the red light. So when can I break the rule, but still keep the principle? So I thought, wow, that's a great concept. So I thought, we do that in accounting all the time. We have the principles of accounting, but when can I break the rule to do it differently? It doesn't always have to be the way we've always done it. So I try to think of new ways to get that done, as keeping the principles of accounting, materiality, ongoing concern, all of that kind of stuff. So it's just something I thought of when
A
I'm
lot of
driving.
things are implied rules because that's the way they've always done it. So they're
Exactly.
implied rules. So in my business and from the day I started, like what were the implied rules versus what I actually had to follow? Turns
Right.
out what I had to follow was a lot less than what the implied rules were.
Right.
So that I could then go, work around the stuff and
Right. It's
make it a differentiator and not so hard for people.
right. I mean, it's like that story you hear about the guy just got newly married and it was Easter and the wife was going to have everybody over for dinner and they bought a ham and she cuts the two ends of the ham off. And he goes, "Why'd you do that?" "Well, my mother cooked ham like that." So the mom comes over. She goes, "Well, why did you cook two ends of the ham off?" "Well, my mother did that." So he asked the grandmother, "Why did you cut two ends of the ham off?" "Well, I had a really small oven." No one ever stopped to think, why would we cut
Yeah.
two ends of the ham off? So I stop and think all the time. Maybe there's a better way. So that's why, when I do these tips and tricks at QuickBooks Connect, that's how I come up with them. Like, maybe there's a better way. Because I tell you another one. I came up with this one today. I thought this was genius. Okay. Of course, when we're not on a P&L and a tax return, you have the cost of goods sold section. Well, if you do a payroll, a monthly adjustment, periodic adjustment, you give the tax return to the tax preparer, and on the tax return, on the P&L side, it has beginning inventory plus purchases less ending inventory. So on the tax return, they have to look at the balance sheet, the P&L, they have to plug the number to get to the COGS line. So I was thinking, how could I make this where that shows up on the P&L? So I thought, all right, let me take the ending inventory balance from 12/31 of 22. I know that number. And on 1/1, I made an entry where I debited an account I created called beginning inventory, COGS. And I credited inventory for the full amount of the inventory. So if you looked at the balance sheet on 1/1, the inventory would be 0. With me so far?
Yep.
Then I purchased throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's the end of the year. I know what the ending inventory is. So now I make a second entry where I created an account. I debited inventory for the value of the inventory at year end, and I credited a new account I called ending inventory. So when I looked at the balance sheet, it was the correct number. And when I looked at the P&L, and now it says beginning inventory plus purchases equals ending inventory, got my COGS number. So if I do that, I thought, now I'm not going to have Hal ask me every time I do a tag, which number is it? I can't get your P&L doesn't match mine. Yes, because you're getting to a net number. I said, okay, that works around. So then you reverse the entry.
Mm-hmm.
Reverse the entry. 12/31, you make the entry and you reverse it. Okay, because the P&L closes out.
Right.
So now you reverse it, and instead of putting it to ending inventory on the reversal, you put it to beginning inventory. So it starts all over again.
Start all over again. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, I thought, genius. That's the kind of stuff I like figuring out because it was bugging me. So
yeah,
anyway.
That's actually great. If I thought, worked with any CPAs that I liked, then I would do it for them.
Now the secret is if you do it throughout the year, if you do it, it works great for the year.
Uh-huh.
If you do it by month, you have to only do the change.
Right.
But it would still work.
Right.
You just, instead
Perhaps
of
the method, now I got to check the method I'm doing because I think I only do the change. So I might be kind of doing what you're doing, except for I don't do those changes.
It's mixed in because I would do that. Yeah. It was mixed in with the purchases line.
Yeah.
But then when I would do the tax return, they want the beginning inventory plus the purchase, because the purchases line if you're in the P&L is not the purchases that goes on the tax return.
Yeah.
It's the sum of everything. So I said on the tax return, you got the beginning inventory from the tax. Look at the inventory on the balance sheet I gave you. Here's the number you got to get to because that's the net. Plug whatever you have to plug in there to make it happen. So
got it. Interesting.
So
I like that one. don't know that I would use it. Maybe if I cared about the tax people, but I don't.
Well, that's the kind of stuff I think about all the time. I love
See,
it.
she has to work. She has to live with her tax person.
Yeah, I
I
live with
don't.
my tax guy,
Yeah.
you know. So anyway. But anyway, we've been talking. How long have we been
Oh my
talking now,
gosh, we've
Donna?
been going on for quite a while. I think like an hour. I don't even know.
Okay.
Oh yeah, just over an hour. Oh, it gives me a little timer down here.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we'll wrap
Yeah.
it up for now. So you guys can get.
Yeah,
I
we're
know. I know.
gonna
Cindy's
wrap
having a
up.
meeting at 7. The buds are having a 7 o'clock nighttime meeting. So
Yes, I gotta get something to eat and then join the buds at
yeah.
well, it's
That's a
4 o'clock my
bookkeeping buds.
time.
Yeah.
So
So
and then I
all
got
right. Well,
football. So I'm good.
thank you everybody for joining, and we're going to do this again. We'll send out We're going to try to do it once a week, right, Donna?
At least once a week, maybe even more.
Yeah, and then we also have our podcast.
Yep, that's going to. Where if you guys have very specific questions, we'll answer those on the podcast. We'll keep those
Right.
to question and answer, but please
Yeah.
submit those. You can send it to us in the Slack for buds. I know we have a lot of buds on here.
Right.
Or also in the show description for us, there's some, I believe there's a link to a form you can fill out. So you can put that there too, because we want to keep that podcast going with just
And we
answering your
scour
questions.
Facebook for some of the doozy questions too.
What's that? I say that one.
We scour Facebook some of the questions we
Yeah,
get.
we go into the Facebook groups to find some questions to make it fun. But yeah, some of those questions in there are great, and we think they're really great topics to delve into. Yeah.
But the YouTube channel, we want to be more just Don and I hanging out and talking. So that's why we want to get everybody involved, in the chat. So
let me
anyway,
see.
this was fun.
Yeah, this was fun. Somebody asked for a link for the podcast. Let me see before we go off if I can get that really quick.
Oh, and if you're going to connect, Don and I made T-shirts up for ourselves. We have our own Bookkeeper on Fire T-shirts.
Yeah, they should be coming in the next week. We'll be doing this live at Connect also. We can live stream from there.
Right.
So we'll be doing this live with a phone and a gimbal. We'll be walking around doing all that fun stuff. If you guys give me a moment, I will get the link for the podcast.
It's on Spotify and Apple.
Yep, it's called Bookkeepers on Fire. I got it. Let me pop it in the chat here real quick before we go off, so you guys can grab it quickly. This is the main page for it. You can also do Bookkeepers on Fire on Apple and Spotify. Just search it up. We're in there. Check out those episodes. Please like and share this out.
Yeah, like,
Gets us
share, and
more.
subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe. Definitely subscribe, although I think most of you are subscribers in here. We're trying to grow this. As you can tell, we've vastly improved from the first one to the second one. I spent 24 hours just learning a bunch of new skills. So, yeah, and I still have a list to go through.
Right.
So
she's a genius. Anyway, thank you for coming. Go have dinner, and then we'll meet you over in the buds.
All right.